And welcome back to the Falcom Fancast Reloaded, Episode 2. We made it this far. In today's episode, Max and Lukey Boy discuss Trails to Azure, how Falcom is a drunk husband and our disappointing daughter, and then we shout at the clouds for about an hour or so, because that's what Trails does to you. All this and more in the Falcom Fancast Reloaded. And we're probably going to change the name soon. Bro, Trails is driving me nuts. There's one thing that bugged me about Trails to Azure, and I wanted to say it in the highlight video that I did, but every time I wanted to say it, I got kind of... Well, I did say it, it's just I would edit it out. I get to pick and choose what I put in the videos. I edited out so much ranting about all that lolly shit. I was ranting so much during that. And I remember thinking, no, they'll call me an SJW if I put it in the video. They'll say SJW. But I'm not saying like cancel it. I'm not saying it should be illegal to like put it in the game where people lech over little kids. I'm just saying it's fucking creepy, bro. There was one point where Shirley bites Lloyd's ear. She's like, Mom, no. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And then Ellie's like, Lloyd. And it's like, oh, shut up. That clip was about less than a minute long. It must have been about 5 minutes that I just stood there fucking angrily shouting about it. I cut out like 80% of that. And I was like, could you keep your fucking fetish out of the video game?
I know, I saw it, yeah. Oh my god, I remember that. And the thing is, unfortunately, Falcom is actually very mild when it comes to this because I'm primarily an anime guy, actually, because of my, my handicap makes it very...
Yeah.
For me, anime is very easy to watch because I can hit pause, read the subtitles, whatever, and go on my own. And you have no idea what I've seen in my days, because I've seen like possibly more than 1,000 series, because I used to like marathon anime like all day long every day.
Did
when I was 20.
Did you just say 1,000?
Yeah, possibly, yes. I'm not even joking, by the way.
You need to make a My Anime list so I can have a look at that and verify this.
I should, but I forget a lot of stuff because I used to have a hard drive with all my stuff, my old anime from like 2010, 2009, 2010, 2011, whatever. And then I never backed up anything. And one day the drive died and I lost all of it. So it kind of sucks because I forgot some. I'm like, what was that show again? Oh shit, I forgot. But anyways, I need to do a list again to remember. But I have seen all the shitty, like the shittiest fan service anime. I've seen like the good stuff. I've seen a lot of things except shonen. I'm not really a shonen guy. Aside from Initial D. I love
shonen like the sport one.
No, shonen is like fighting anime for, boys.
Oh, like the tournament arc and all that
Bleach,
stuff.
like episode 9228. Will he win this fight? And then 5 episodes later, it's like still not over kind of deal. And then
you just described Pokemon.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Ash is gone now. Ash finally... I don't know, maybe he died or something.
I remember, I know I'm going on the tangent, but way back I used to watch those like shonen anime, like Bleach, like in 2006, whatever. I used to like anticipate the releases back when the episode would drop on YouTube in parts, like 8-minute videos maximum. So you had to like split animes in like 3 parts, and I would watch it on YouTube. And I remember like after like 100 episodes, I was like, this is not for me. Like, this is boring. It doesn't lead anywhere.
Is this going somewhere?
Exactly. And it's always like... Yeah. And at some point, it's like... They always like over... What do you call it? They try to one-up everything, every arc. So at some point, it's like... It gets so ridiculous that they just look at each other and one explodes. Like, it's like they kill each other just by looking. Like, it's just like... No, this is just dumb. Like, I'm done. It's just stupid. I was so done with it. So I actually enjoy more like the slice of life or like
dude, I've got romantic one for you then.
Romantic stuff. I enjoy like the guys, because you have like shonen and seinen romance, which is like for males, I guess you would say. Then you have like the shoujo / josei stuff, which I watch as well, but not as much. And it's I kind of enjoy that genre. Anyways, you were about to say something.
Well, if you like slice of life, I recently started watching more clips of Non Biori.
Oh, I did watch it. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I haven't watched it in full yet because I want to sort of save it, because when I make my anime channel, by 2082, when Kuro no Kaseki comes out, So around that time. Eventually I'll make it. I want that to be the first one I do. Or Psychopaths, I don't know, but...
If you want to talk about anime with someone, I think I could be your guy, because I've watched a lot of stuff. A lot.
I'm nearly getting back into it. In fact, that was the other topic of today. The first was Azure, and the second was actually the Cold Steel anime, but I haven't actually watched it yet. It was more predictions I've made. I've made my bingo card. In fact, do you want to see what the bingo card says?
Sure.
On the, where is it? There it is.
I love how we're just going on tangents and all over the place as it
Yeah,
starts.
so Trails to Azure, it was good, and I'm never playing it again. Because
Let's talk about anime now. No.
old Trails games, man, old Trails games. I love them, but oh, dude, they can be archaic.
Oh yes, can I go back to what we were saying? Because I know why we went on a tangent now, I remember. But Falcom, when it comes to these, I guess typical Japanese animes, tropes, I will be honest, it's still okay-ish compared to what I've seen in anime, is what I meant. Because, trust me, there is some really, I would say, like, flat out, almost illegal stuff. Like,
Almost
even
illegal.
in mainstream, yeah, like, I would
sounds like
actually
anime.
think, I would even say, like, in certain countries, I'm pretty sure this stuff is illegal. I've seen some anime, I've flat out dropped.
Probably.
Like, I saw some stuff, I was like, okay, I'm done. Next.
Oh man, that must be bad, because I've only ever, like, flat out dropped, like, 2 animes. One was called Air. I thought it would be as good as Clanad, because it was made by the same people. It unfortunately was crap.
Like
But the
Angel
other was
Beats and
called-
stuff.
Yeah,
It's the same people, right?
probably. I kind of forgotten, but the other one was called Ultimate Otaku Teacher.
Oh,
And
I
I
never
thought it
saw
was-
that.
I thought it was going to be like a satire. It was just the most trashy, generic shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm
know.
going to write it down. I'm going to write it down because I want to review it. I want to review it like an asshole. I'm
A
going to
friend
type
of
it
mine,
onto it.
a friend of mine and I want to make a channel like with our VTuber avatars about like old animes and video games, and you know, like all the old 90s and early 2000s trashy harem anime and shit. Like we love these old things for some reason. I don't know why, and we want to watch like all these crappy shows from back in the day. And I have a lot of them actually. I even own like physical copies because I just have a fascination with terrible anime from like the 90s and early 2000s. I don't know why. Maybe it's nostalgia because I was growing up watching these things, and it's just reminding me like if there is so much trash. Like people say like, oh, anime is so bad nowadays. Go look at what was going on in like 2000, 2001, even late 90s. Like this is nothing new.
I just got a great idea. If you could, if at any point you remember the name of a bad anime, send it to me, and I might actually just start making videos or a review like the worst anime. Maybe that could be what I do with the new channel, or I could do it on this one. Or we could do it at some point and just review the worst animes that we
could
find.
collab on that actually. I think that would be fun. Collab
could
on
be
like
fun.
anime reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the good stuff with Trails. Mind you, the Cold Steel anime. But I guess I'll talk a bit more about Trails to Azure.
I can't
guess
bring
I'm
myself to watch the anime. Sorry, go on.
That's fine. I'm 50-50 on Azure. I feel like I enjoyed it, but I definitely rushed through it. I must have got it done in like a week and a half. I must have like skipped through so many dialogues because I
That's
knew
fast.
exactly what they were going to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know that they're going to say, I've lost my cat. I've lost it. It's okay, little gal. Stop crying. We'll get her back. Randy makes a joke about her mum's tits. Ellie says, Randy, stop it. Tio says, gee. Lloyd says, guys, come on, barriers. Calm it down. Barriers, guys, come on. And then we go, and then the girl tells us about, IBS and her mum's liposuction. And after about 5 minutes, we decided, yeah, let's go find this gap. And I just got kind of bored of it. So I was just like, how about I just hold the circle button and done. Now I'm going to look at a guide and I'm going to see where that fudging cat is. And oh, Shirley's appeared. Cool. And then it's done.
I fucking hate Shirley, sorry.
Shirley's a fucking...
I fucking despise Shirley with a burning passion. You have no idea. Mario Bell as well.
Mario Bell. I don't know about Mario Bell. There's part of me that likes her. There's part of me that likes her and wants her to, like, I don't know, be a goodie. But she's also a mean hoe. I can't figure out how I feel.
What I hate about her is like, I want to be a bad girl. Why? Because I want to be a bad girl. It's just like,
Yeah,
Cool.
alchemy. Croix family shit. Grandmaster's cool. I'm Maria Bell. I have risotto Harrod. That laugh she does, I can't do it. My voice.
Rie
is
Tanaka, yeah, the Ojo-sama kind of laugh. Sorry, it's called. Yeah, I wanted to say what you're telling me about Azure being 50-50 reminds me of something. You know, Azure is considered by many in the fan base to be the best, an absolute
totally
masterpiece.
It's
whatever.
fucking incredible at times, I'll say that much. There were parts of it where I thought, oh, this storytelling, like, Modern Trails has nothing on this. I mean, is it chapter 4 where the city just... I mean, if we're going... Are we doing spoilers or not?
Yes, we can, yes. I think it's the point, yeah.
Okay, the city goes up in flames. That cutscene was incredible.
Yeah,
and
I
they
know.
built up to it so well. But
I
yeah, I
know.
can see why.
But here's where I'm going with this. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about Azure, and I think it's like an anti-movement, against these people that always said like, oh, it's the best thing ever, and it's like, now that I've played it, I think it's not as good because I want to contradict you or something. But there is actually some truth to it too. You know what I mean? Because I think, from my perspective, I think I've not overestimated, it's not the word, but I think I've kind of looked at it the wrong way, if I may say, because I used to think like Falcom was like, oh my god, Trails is like so good, whatever, amazing, and blah blah blah. And then, as you know, I got disappointed with Cold Steel 4, and to me that felt like a massive slap to the face.
Bro, I'm going to play that again now that I played the old ones. Sorry to cut you off, but I will play that again and I'll let you know if I feel the same way.
And because I felt insulted. When I played Cold Steel 4, I felt legitimately insulted. Because I was like,
damn.
You played like, imagine being me, right? I spent...
hey, I can play guitar good. Nice.
Yeah, but I've spent like, I don't know, thousands of hours easily on Trails. Like, I've played Cold Steel how many times? Like Cold Steel 1?
Oh, it's
like
funny you should mention
10
that.
times, whatever. And also, money-wise, I've spent... Currently, I did some math. I was actually under-evaluating my collection because turns out I spent about 8 grand on Falcom stuff, which is embarrassing, but that's true.
That's not
I did the math.
embarrassing, it's just, I feel like they should make a statue of you and put it in their office.
No, but like in 10 years, so, it took some time, but in 10 years, that's what I've spent, and I was very passionate.
They need to make an NPC named Max.
I'm pretty sure some people have me beat when it comes to collecting and stuff, but anyways, the point I'm making is, I was insanely obsessed with the series and passionate and very much into the lore, whatever, blah blah blah. And so you're like, okay, I've spent thousands of hours to this point. I want to know what's going on. This is like a key point, an ending point, whatever. And then they give you this absolute fucking joke of like, oh, curse, it's the curse. Everyone is acting like an ass because it's the curse. And like when you play when you play Sky, it's like, oh, those Erebonians, they're badasses, like they're mean, they're like messed up, whatever. Like there is like this big, like they introduce Erebonia like this big deal, like politics, whatever. And it's like, oh no one's the bad guy. Like Osborne is a big bear. It's just like a sweet bear. It's just like the curse, the curse this, the curse that. And then Elliot comes in like, oh, I'm gonna heal this horse with my violin. And it's just like, dude, what? I felt so insulted.
The curse has got on my chair. It started getting angry at this. I think Osborne's controlling my chair to make it go hurt.
But sorry, God. So I've kind of reflected on all of this, and I was like,
and it all built up to that. All of the old games that were all building up to that. That was the end of the saga.
And then, of course, the fan service bit, which is insulting in of itself, because it's like, oh, you want this? Here is some trash quickly put together just to shut people up. And it's like, what's the point, Do
you mean like the bonding events in Cold Steel 4?
the love bonding events.
Dude, I was gonna do
copy paste, and it's like, what's the fucking point?
I was gonna do a video of that and like, but just voice it and be like, Laura, I love you. Elisa, I love you. Milliam, give it a few years. Thee, I love you. Sarah. I was just going to do that for every single one of them. But, you know, maybe end with Fee. No, Milliam. And then be like, Milliam, go to bed. Or something like that, you know.
It's just so... But anyways, what I wanted...
Altina, the Altina one.
Oh, God, it's disgusting to me.
What?
And they sell like body pillows like hotcakes or whatever.
You can't. We can't talk about the Altina body pillows. The people will get angry at us.
I don't care.
They'll get angry.
Come at me, bro. If anyone wants, come
Max
at me. I don't care.
Rogue. He's gone rogue. He's done a Rean from the Northern War apparently.
I just don't care. You know, people can say what if they don't agree with me, I don't care. I'm just saying my stance on it, and so be it. If people don't like it, then I don't give a shit. But it's just like after this, so I played Hajimari. I'm not gonna say anything because again I don't want to spoil you. But the game was okay. I will say this: the game was okay. I have my problems with it, but the game was okay. I was like, maybe there's some chance of redemption. And then Kuro comes out and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I enjoyed it. I really had a good time. And after this, I kind of like stopped and thought like, I had a moment, you could say. And I was like, maybe just nothing really changed. Like when I started playing the old games again a bit, I was like, Falcom has always been, Trails, let's say Trails here, has always been like this. Like it's not really, it's never been like amazing, like top tier, whatever.
I came to that realization.
It's a cool concept. It's very charming in a way, like we say in French. It's very, it's its own thing, but it's nothing special at the same time. It should be. I think I was looking at it the wrong way, is what I'm trying to say, and I shouldn't just take it too seriously at this point. And just like, I'm just here for the ride, see what happens. But I kind of stopped caring because...
Dude, I feel like I'm halfway to where you're at right now. I think because I've not been into it as much, or as long as you have, but I feel like I'm sort of halfway there. But I've been making content on it for like 3 years. It got the channel noticed. I really do love it. And this next Trails video I'm doing is probably going to be the last one before Reverie. And I think I'm kind of trying to wind down from it in a way, because I also had these grand expectations of it. I mean, this could actually be, we talked about Azure. This could just be it really, and about what Azure represents. It was sort of like the final old style Trails game, but I guess because of that, I had also heard that it was going to be this incredible thing. And so I had to try and keep my expectations in check. I had to keep that, I had to temper them every now and again, because if I'd fucking chair made a fart noise, I'm going to try not to move. Okay. It was good. It was good. It was very good considering what they had to work with in terms of graphics and gameplay mechanics. But in terms of the story, I realized something, and that was that even the old Trails games, the writing, people overhype it, I think.
Yes.
And I want to also state for the record that at times the writing is some of the best I've seen in gaming.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've played Nier Automata. I've seen some of the best writing in anything ever in Nier Automata.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of books by, this is going to make me sound like a pretentious douchebag, but philosophers, scientists, really, really good writer. I'm reading something by Oliver Sacks right now, an old neurologist. He is such a good writer. And to go from that, and like, I read Moby Dick. It was like 800 pages of 1860s misery about a dude chasing a whale, and at one point it's a musical for some reason, and it's like, oh, this writing is incredible. And then it's like, with the power of our friendship, guys, we're gonna get over these barriers. Lloyd. Oh,
and then all the tits grabbing and like sexual harassment.
Oh yeah, Jesus fuck! And you just remind yourself that, okay, I was sort of living in an internet bubble of anime.
Exactly.
And then you go back into the bubble, and it's like, it doesn't feel like it used to. I don't.
And here's the thing. Oh, sorry.
I'll go for it, Ben.
This reminds me that, for example, I have friends, when they came to that realization, they completely lost interest in Trails. Like Revis, for example, he actually told me, like, I'm done. I'm just done. Like when he started,
geez, I'm not surprised.
When he started Cold Steel 3, he was like, I'm doing the same shit I was doing a Cold Steel 1 and 2. It's the same bullshit. And it is just like, I'm tired. I'm done. And I was like, dude, fair enough. Like, I don't blame you. For me, those games have like the perfect formula, as I said, for, you know, a quote-unquote blind man. And I love the slow pace, like taking your time, the world building. I think even Kuro, like I was having such a blast from the past, just like that feeling of having fun playing a Trails game. But I also like now know what to expect. And for me, I'm good with that. But some people just like, when they lost this flame, whatever you call it, they were like, no, I'm done. It's just, I'm wasting my time. And yeah, so you have to choose, like, are you okay with this? Or
I wonder,
do you want to play something else and do something better with your time, you know? It's just like, yeah.
It's the Falcom flame, the Trails flame. It burns the brightest, but it burns out the quickest.
Oh, yes.
Because you really, I think a lot of it, in fact, this is completely off the cuff. I haven't taken any notes for this. If we'd just go all in, I'll go all in. I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that because there are so many games and you have to really work. I mean, up until recently, we couldn't even play Crossbell. You have to really work at it. Being a Trails fan is like a fucking exam. It's like coursework. It's like work sometimes.
It's a lot of work and investment. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just money, but also time.
Investment.
Energy.
I mean, by investment, I don't mean money. I actually mean time. Time.
Time.
Dedication. And money. Yeah, true. Money as well.
As like a holistic thing, all of them really. And I think as a result of that, we really do expect something back that's really tangible. And usually we get it. But I think because of that, perhaps we're less tolerant when it does do those things that other anime and JRPGs do. Because I know people in the... If I was a commenter right now, I'd probably be thinking, well, you know, other games do it too. But I think we just have those high expectations because, or at least possibly in part, due to the fact that it is a lot of work being a Trails fan. And so I think I'm further along than you. Sorry, you're further along than me, but I'm in deep in another way because I've been doing content on it much, and I've been wanting to sort of express this in a video, but I didn't know how to say it, and I think you just sort of helped me to realize. It's just dawned on me. I just had the eureka moment. The light bulbs got off in my head. I'm like, this is why it's been hurting me so much. Not just that, but the fact that they localized bloody Crossbell. I mean, if we're talking about that, let's talk about the fact that they localized Azure and Zero. In fact, one of the things I wrote down, because we were, for the audience listening, Max and I didn't have an exact idea. At first it was going to be waifus tonight, then it sort of turned into like Azure and Cold Steel, or Trails in general. But one of the things I wrote down was less views for everyone, because I've been watching a few videos on it, Trails to Azure, for just about, you know, any video I can find, just to see what people think of it. Yeah. And the consensus is we all think it's a good game. At least most of us do. Me included, even if I was half and half. I was also just burnt out because it's the 9th Trails game I played in less than 4 years, you know, so it makes sense. But exactly. I think the one common thread I found was that there was nowhere near as much hype for this as there was for Zero.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not just talking about views for my video, because I don't know the views for my video.
I did notice. I actually saw that too. Yeah.
I've checked basically all views except mine. But I imagine it's probably a running theme. People don't seem as interested. I think people were hyped at first because it's like, oh, this is the Crossbell arc Trails from Zero, great. But you've got the fact that it came out so soon after it, and also the fact that I think, you know, I did a video. It was called the Trails localization issue, and I kind of want to make a follow-up part. But I hate to say I told you so, but I think what I've predicted would happen, or was worried might happen, has happened, and that's that people aren't particularly interested in an 11-year-old game.
Yep.
That was originally, I think, on the PS. It was either P or Vita. I always mix them up. It was on one of the PlayStation handhelds.
Yeah, PSP was PSP.
I'll take your word for it. You know better than me. But yeah, that
PC
over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember thinking,
well over a decade, like 2009. So it's been a while.
Man, even longer than I thought. And I think to myself, while it is great, you could have just left up the fan translation.
And gone to Kuro and like Reverie directly.
Yeah, and I was trying to think about what it. I was trying to think about what it could have been that made Falcom and NIS America make that decision. NIS have made some weird decisions, probably, you know, in cooperation with Falcom. like the pulling of the fan translations,
Oh,
just
yeah.
the spreadsheets, because you know I made videos about that. I won't get into it. I found it weird.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing was this: the decision to localize this, because I remember thinking the common person probably isn't going to give two solitary shits
I know.
about these games. They want the new one, they want the shiny one, they want Kuro or Reverie. And they're going to think, wait, what's Trails from Zero? What's this? What's that? And the way to hook them in to make them want to play the old games is probably to get them hooked on a new game with all the bells and whistles that come
Exactly.
along with it. And
the problem
I feel
is-
as though... Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, it's I don't like cutting you like that. I'll say
It's cool. Like we're passionate
Yeah,
boys.
I know,
we can't
right?
help it. But yeah, I feel as though while I am glad to play it, I could have played the I believe it's the Geofront translation.
Yeah.
Or
Which
rather,
was
I should
out.
call it. Yeah, I think I'm doing them a disservice by calling it. I think I'll call it a localization, a fan localization, because they did more than just translate.
Yeah.
I think. I wonder if it's like, okay, maybe NIS and Falcom thought, well, we've got a chance to sell the games again, which means more money. But at the same time, I would love to get my hands on those numbers, because everything I've seen online is just, it indicates that interest in Trails
It's not good.
died with Trails to Azure in the
May
West.
I add something? Because I noticed, speaking of like the loss of interest, I can back you up on this because I went on the NISA Europe Online store today to see the Reverie limited edition stock state, because I kind of am on the fence about getting it. And I was like, no way, it's out of stock. Like, you know, it's 3 months away from release. There's no way it's in stock. And there's 50% of limited editions in stock. This has never happened. Because I can tell you, when I pre-ordered Trails of Cold Steel 3 on NISA, way back in 2019, stocks flew off the shelves, quote unquote. You could never find a copy available like 6 months from release, but now we're like 3 months from Reverie's release, and on the EU store, not the UK one, by the way, the EU one, because now there's like an actual European store, which is great for me because no import taxes, but anyways, because Brexit.
Oh, it's Crexit. It's Crossbell's exit.
Yeah, Crexit. Yeah, exactly.
You just reminded me. That's the best joke I've ever
I love
made.
that. I saw that in your video. I thought it was funny.
I was very chuffed with that one. I'll be
Oh
honest.
yeah, Crexit. Yeah, we could do skits like that in Falcom After Hours. Actually,
I'm just saying, Crexit means Crexit. Goddamn! Oh, I whacked my leg too hard.
But yeah,
Ugh.
I was saying, like, I was kind of shocked to see that you can still now go on the website and order
check it
a
out.
limited edition, because like usually it would be long gone. The stock would be long gone. On the again, not the UK one, the EU one, because you can. Just to be clear.
Well, on the UK it says 26 to 50% stock left
same.
for Trails in the Reverie limited edition.
Yeah, same.
75 quid. Maybe it's because it's 75 quid.
It's expensive, man. And there is like one like that's $200 in euros with like plushies that I don't want. But because I don't want a plushie of Rean, like no thanks. Lloyd, and I love Rean. I'm sorry, but just this guy.
Lloyd's cuter.
Yeah, Lloyd is just but I'm just not interested. And C, I just don't care. So it's yeah. So
I think I know who C is. I think I've been spoiled
Yeah?
for C, but I'm not quite sure.
I'm sorry.
I was tempted to ask, but it's down to like one of about 3 people. But I'm fairly certain I know who it is.
I'm not gonna say anything because
Fuck the Trails fan base on fucking comment
Yeah.
sections. It's my own fault. I say fuck them, I mean fuck me. I made the mistake. I went down there.
You
That's
shouldn't.
on me.
Yes. For me, I am fine with getting spoiled, but I'm different. Like we discussed last time, I think we talked about this in the first episode. Pretty sure. But yeah, so all of that to say that I'm pretty sure like interest is just dying in the series, and it's actually worrying me because I think they did a huge mistake by wasting 3 years, because they basically wasted 3 years.
Yeah.
And Nayuta also, like, why? Because I'm sorry, but Nayuta might be a good game. I'm not saying anything about that. But
Is it even a Trails game? Somebody got
It's
angry
not.
at me in the comments. I got angry. It hasn't. It's like sort of half of them. Somebody got angry at me in the comments, and I said something to the effect of, they said, why do people keep putting Nayuta in there? And I'm like, well, I saw an official poster of the protagonists, and the Nayuta guy was in there. It was localized amidst the other 3 Trails games as like a block of 4. It's got the word Trails in it. It's made by the same people, so I took a gamble. But I still can't say it's 100% confirmed. I just looked at it. I'd seen the gameplay. It looks like garbage. It looks like ass.
I mean, it came out like E7 era. It's a game from the E7 era, like 2008.
Why are they localizing it?
I know. It's a fucking waste of time. That
justifies it. The only thing I can think of, go for it. I just think the only thing that could justify it is if it is connected to Trails massively.
It's not.
But you're saying it's not, and you know better than me. You've played the new ones.
There is like a rumor, like it's a legend where like it might be. Maybe it is linked. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's related. Maybe it's not related. But in the end, it's not.
If they still haven't cleared that up, then it's not worth bloody well going into. I've seen the gameplay. It does look like early East. If I wanted to do that, I'd play Kid fucking Chameleon on the Sega Mega Drive collection.
I know.
Why are they doing this? I feel like they're actually killing their own company. You look in the comments and you see you look at the thing, you see the trailer has 91,000 views from the PlayStation account, 2.5 thousand likes, 187 comments. It looks like people are interested. They're not. People seemed interested in... If people weren't as interested in Trails to Azure as we thought, then they're not going to be interested in Nayuta. They're wasting their time on all of this crap. And even though Azure... You know what? I'm going to be honest. If we're going all in, let's go all in.
Yeah.
Azure, it soured me because all of that time, as I played through it, I just couldn't help but think, why didn't they just localize fucking Reverie? We could have had Kuro by now. We could have been looking at Kuro 2 next year instead of the next Ice Age.
Yeah.
I have been holding this in for so long. I will let it out in a video eventually and say they should have done it.
I wanted to tell you something also. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I thought about it in your video. I wanted to tell you about Kuro because Kuro, I have a feeling you're gonna like it. At least I love it because it's less bullshit.
I'm alive.
Yeah,
if I'm alive.
It's less
if
bullshit.
It comes out.
But that's the problem. Like if they focused, like you said, and we had like Reverie first and Kuro, that would be so different because I don't think the hype would have died as much as it has, and also you would have been able to experience a game that's honestly refreshing. It still Trails, don't get me wrong, like it still has the same sins, we could say, but it's good, you know.
They're not going to be... I get what you're saying, but that people aren't going to be happy about saying this, but you know, I'm just going to go all in and just say it. I keep saying I'm going to go all in and I hold back. I will go on it. Yeah. When I made that video, it's called the Trails Localization Issue, I talked about how I thought that objectively, for sales, for Falcom, it was a potential death knell. I genuinely, I said, is this the end of Falcom in the West or something like that? And I remember saying, probably not. But there was a part of me that thought, what if it is?
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm starting to really wonder, they had a real bit of momentum going. And I think that's why I was, I think they may have. And that's why I'm annoyed at Azure, and it was like a dark cloud looming over me. That's why also I've been a little more annoyed about them not answering questions about Ouroboros. And like, if they don't answer stuff in Reverie, I'll at least make one more video about that. But I think that it's just soured me. There's a stress. I feel a stress, an actual stress as someone who... This is how I know I love the Trail series too much.
Yeah.
We were talking about like being like too into stuff, and I think I am because there's a stress. And the amount of moaning that I cut out of that video, I feel my chest tighten up and I'm like, oh, I gotta get it out, and I will. Then I'll just edit it out. But at least now we found this is our therapy.
This is the outlet. Yes, this is the therapy.
This is Trailsholics Anonymous.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Luke and I'm a Trails
Exactly.
fan.
You know how I feel now, because even if you've been quote unquote like a fan from less longer than I have, 4
years and 2 months.
It's not really relevant in my opinion. So, but when you are like so invested and you want to know, and every game is like next game and the next game and the next game is like, oh, you'll find out later, and you're like spending thousands of hours potentially of your life on playing these games, at least for me, and it's like blue balls every single fucking game, and at some point you're like, okay, like there's so much I can take, like please can I get something, and you don't get shit. And every time, this is why I was so fucking frustrated with Cold Steel 4 because Rean is like 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and it's like, Rean, what did Rean become? He is not any further than you. Yeah, but like, what about like the lore? Like nothing, nothing.
He saved the world.
And
that's about it.
I'm sorry, but like for me, one thing I loved about Trails is seeing the world just evolve. People have lives. I love the detail and like the NPCs doing stupid like nonsense that no one would care about, but I used to care about it. Like, I just love it. I love seeing the world blossom, whatever, like evolve into something. Seeing characters like build something, a life, whatever. Like Estelle and Joshua, that was so satisfying for me the first time I played it, to see things just evolve and blah, blah, blah. And then you see like, Rean is like, oh, first game. And then you see the last game and it's like, nothing changed. Sure, it's like he's a teacher, but like that's it. Like he's the same. He has the same insecurities, the same issues, the same. He still hasn't resolved any of his inner issues, like self-esteem, whatever, and nothing. Just nothing. But hey, here's some waifus. Have fun, and it's just like, fuck. Like I like Rean. I want to see Rean finally have a break and move on, I want to see him have
a mental break. That would make him interesting.
Because I don't care what happens, but do something. And that's the thing that really pissed me off. One of the things is like, Falcom is so terrified to do anything with Rean because Rean became so popular that they're like, oh my god, if we do anything with Rean and set things in stone, we can't sell all those body pillows. Shit.
I've just realized something. Rean is the John Cena of Trails. They can't turn him into a bad guy. They can't have him do anything overly bad. And every time they sort of try to, they have some wanky fucking excuse for it that makes him morally absolved because he makes up too much money.
When
the kids need Rean.
Look, when Rean was like, destroying all these like soldats or whatever, he made sure to cut it so that he would just spare the lives of the people inside it or whatever. And I'm just like, fuck you, Falcom.
If we're talking about videos we done, I did one on Rean. In fact, you remember you praising it, and like, I felt really happy about that because everyone else was going at me. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people.
Your video was fair, in my opinion.
I tried to be. I appreciate you saying so. What I did was, I said, someone named one thing that Rean did that was bad, that was entirely his fault. And someone actually in the comments, I hate to drop him, I won't name drop him, but somebody actually said, the curse. Or something that he did basically because of the influence of the curse. And I'm like, that's not his fault, god damn it. He didn't ask for the curse. He got
curse.
My chair's cursed again.
That
just
fucking
every time I talk
curse,
about the curse.
man, it's that fucking curse.
Yeah, Harmel, curse. Mishi and his sexual assault allegations, that was a curse.
Oh man.
Well, that was in my head, but I think that could have been a cool
that reminds me of something. An argument I had in your comment section that I find funny with someone.
I think I know which one you mean.
I made fun of someone. It's my fault, but I can't help myself. But someone was like, "How dare you say that very good people don't exist? That's insulting me. That is insulting people like me." And I'm just like, did you just call yourself like, "Oh man, I'm such a good person, man"?
Yeah.
Oh. And then
I was going to go at you.
And then they were like, "Oh, you're such an asshole! Like, how dare you say that?" Like, and I'm just like, I was the monster in this. And I was just laughing, like, "Oh, you know nothing about narcissism. Like, are you a doctor? Can you like, can you like diagnose narcissism?"
No, well, you can diagnose. What you were doing was you were diagnosing a narcissistic trait in someone.
Exactly.
You were just saying that.
I said you sound like a narcissist. I didn't say like.
You weren't saying I, Max, Doctor of Animeology, diagnose you hereby with narcissism.
Yes.
Even though they probably are. You don't have to be like if a dude walks into your hospital, or like say you're in the hospital, you're having like an asthma attack, and somebody walks in and his leg's hanging off. I don't gotta be a motherfucking doctor to know that dude's got a broken fucking leg, bro. He's got a broken leg. I don't need to be a doctor to see it. I can tell. I have eyes. And they're, well, not as good as they used to be, but neither of us are, really, so...
I was like, what is wrong with these people? Because I got a few responses like, oh, it's normal. Like, I can call myself like an awesome, very good person like all day long. Like, it's fine. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong? Is it like an American thing? Like, is it like culture shock? Like, what's going on? I showed the comment to many people and they were like, that's messed up. That's pretty funny, actually. Because they were like reading the comments saying like, yeah, that's just funny, that this is ridiculous. Like, nobody, like no good person would ever call themselves a good person, which makes sense. And
yeah,
and
like
it's
it's a weird thing to do, to say like, oh no, it's not unrealistic for Rean to be a really good person. I'm a really good person. If you read that back, God, that sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible.
But that's a red flag, bro. That's like, if someone tells me they're a good person, I'm like,
no.
Okay, I'm never accepting a drink from you at the pub.
Exactly.
Or if I am, I'm looking at the bottom, and if I see any powdery substances, I'm chucking it in your face.
Oh, man.
The mark of a good person isn't something that we can ever know about ourselves.
Yes.
We're not qualified to say. If someone once asked me, are you a good person? And I was like, wait, what? But then again, it was a kid, and so I thought, what do I say? And I just said, I don't know. You'd have to ask people who know me.
Yeah.
And I think I've felt the same way ever since. You just have to ask people who know you. Like, do you think I'm a good person?
Yeah.
But that was weird. And that was... I don't know, man. That's the kind of person defending Rean right now.
Yes, exactly. And I couldn't help myself but just joke and poke fun at these people because I just don't have anything better to do, to be honest. But it's just like... I see a pattern, you know, with like the Rean fans, and not to be disrespectful, but you know what I mean.
Do it.
You know what I mean. But they all tend to fit this description we've talked about, and it's always and that's the side of Rean I really hate. It's like the self-insert side of him, which brings those people in, and it's, I don't know, it's just this is why I like Rean. But I hate Rean. It's like both. Because I love the Rean that is Rean, but I hate the Rean that brings this like stupid nonsense. I don't know, it's just...
Rean is a difficult one because had he been written better, he could have been a great protagonist.
Oh yes, yeah,
and
so much potential.
You have to be a great protagonist to be a protagonist of 4 games. Well, like 3.5, I guess. Half a Cold Steel 4
it's
wasn't about.
Funny. Because I remember now the episode we did about Rean, and I'm just laughing, sorry.
I was thinking at a certain point earlier, like, we're sort of retreading it, but at the same time, I wrote down something as we were ranting. It's called Old Men Yell About Trails. And that could basically be the title of this one. This has turned into just a diatribe.
This is just a pub conversation right now.
Yeah, and it's a place of love too. Because, you know, it's because we care so much.
Exactly.
And I'm worried about Reverie in the same way I was worried about Azure, and I think all of this, the fact that it's all just come out then, none of this was prepared. I like to prepare as much as I can with notes and stuff so that I don't drag the thing down. All of this was just straight from the heart, man, and I could tell you were holding it in too. We've been holding it in. This is like, oh god, like
feels
therapy,
good.
finally.
This feels good.
It was looming over me. That's why Azure was 50-50, man. It was looming over me the whole time. That dark cloud waiting to piss down on me from above at any time. And occasionally it wouldn't. I think, oh god, because I remember seeing like Campanella, and I'm thinking, so this was game 5, and we didn't really know much about Campanella, and I played game 9, and we still don't know anything about Campanella.
I know. Just...
And the Grandmaster, and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And it must be funny for you, because you know if anything gets answered in Reverie.
Yes.
You know whether I'm going to be happy or angry. You know what's coming. I don't have a clue. But at the same time, I've been wondering if perhaps my sentiment, which turns out to be very much your sentiment, which I've been wondering if it is indeed a shared sentiment among people. Not only the laymen, but also the hardcore fans. Because views weren't doing so well. There's this JRPG YouTuber I watch. He was saying that his views on his video weren't so good. And I think it does indicate a trend of less people giving a damn.
I saw that video. I think I know what video you're talking about.
Yeah, I try not to name drop people. How are we about name dropping?
I'm fine. Personally, I'm fine with name dropping.
Right. It was Eric Landon, a JRPG dude who does like the top 5s and the top 10s.
I saw that video.
Yeah, it was on the second channel, I think, and I've actually started watching more JRPG channels because I want to know if it's a shared sentiment, and it seems to be. It seems to be one that people just don't seem to give a crap anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel as though Falcom have taken so many liberties that they kind of got trapped in their own arrogant bubble. And I love them. But it does seem arrogant to say, okay, I remember, I got rid of the video, or privatized I should say, and the video was me reacting to that concert they put on. And where I think they actually spoiled some stuff, but I didn't actually watch the concert bits. I just skipped through the concert because I was like, they might spoil shit, which they apparently did. Like they always, like apparently they gave away C's identity. So like, even if I wasn't spoiled for that, I was spoiled by someone else. I could have been spoiled.
Falcom will spoil you. So they spoil everybody.
That's why that's a point I give to Nisa. Actually, I've given NIS America some stick for some things they've done that I didn't agree with, but they're really good with spoilers. I always say that I love how they deal with spoilers. Part of me loves them for that, because they really do care and they do the nice panels. You know, they can be nice when they're nice. Yeah. But god damn, I wonder if people are just like. I wonder if Falcom are overestimating the extent to which people are willing to play such long games and play so many.
They're basically testing their patience too much. And here is what I think: Falcom is in a pretty much a crisis at this point, in my opinion, because the thing is, Kuro 2 is a filler game. I'm not gonna say any more than that, but I like it too, like, don't get me wrong, but the problem is they are really pushing, like, people's patience. Like, really pushing, even in Japan. And the thing is, this has gone too far. Honestly, if they don't do something now, like, I really mean it now, like, next year after East 10, if they don't get to the point and stop blueballing people all the time, I don't know what's gonna happen. Because Trails is like the money maker, you know, it's the cash cow of Falcom.
And sales had gone to shit.
And yes, because
did you read the financial report from last year?
It was terrible.
Yeah, he admitted they were under expectations. And I remember thinking, god damn it, I said this in the video too. They need to start prioritizing the West. Japan barely even likes consoles anymore. Yeah. They love their mobiles and their patchy parlors.
Also...
they need to start prioritizing the West for sales reasons, not just because it would be really nice
Falcom
to play games.
Still lives like in the 19th century or something. I mean, it's just stupid. Like, I mean, localizations. Look, even low-budget games like Neptunia pretty much get like simultaneous releases. And for Falcom, they still do things like it was in the 90s. Like they're like, oh, you know, we cannot do anything. Please, someone just take the responsibility and the work to bring it like after we finish the game, whatever. So then we have to wait like years to get a game, and this is not doable today. You cannot say like, this game is
a shiny new game.
Yeah, everyone wants to be on it on the bandwagon. If you don't do that, people stop caring. And like you said with Kuro, like when Kuro comes out, no one's gonna give a flying fuck because the game...
I'd say it's a prediction of mine. I'm 50-50 on whether it will be the case, but I think it's more a worry that that'll happen. Yeah. I won't say for sure that I definitely think that's going to happen, but I'm worried it will. Yeah. Because even Kuro, by today's standards, is low budget as fuck.
Oh yes, it looks bad,
and
honestly.
The average person, they're the exact kind of people you want to bring in, right? Yeah. You can't just go on the Trails hardcore fan base forever because eventually they're going to get burned out. So you need to attract more people, and the way you do that is with these shiny new modern games and new graphics and new mechanics, and they look great and they feel great, and they still have that Trails feel. And I think they've done something like that with the combat. They've sort of innovated a bit.
Oh, the combat is great, in my opinion. Yeah,
I've heard great things. But I wonder if perhaps they've got too high off their own farts because of all of the hardcore fans willing to go to such extreme lengths. And I do wonder if perhaps a lot of the hardcore fans are now saying, well, if you're going to take down these fan translation spreadsheets with the help of NIS America, or rather, it's both of them in tandem, they wouldn't do that without Falcom saying it's okay because they work for Falcom.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do that, and also, what else did they do? They took down the, bloody hell, I've forgotten. They didn't tell people about the differences between ports for the games. They didn't do that for Azure either. They didn't tell people, hey, the PC version's better.
I know, I remember that.
It's all a shit show. You've got an archaic publisher or rather developer in
yeah.
Falcom, who were very, very antiquated, and you've got Nisa, who are sometimes shady and sometimes lovely, but if you mix archaic with shady, they're basically the Ouroboros of the gaming world. That's what they are. Kondo is the Grandmaster. I'm telling you now, at the end of Kuro 3, Kuro's going to be like, Kondo's going to be like, it was me all along, bitch.
And it's like, people complained in Japan about Kuro 2, and Kondo, what does he have to say? Just according to Ecchitaku. That's pretty much it. Every time.
Really?
Yes. It's like, oh no, people are mad. Okay, that's good. That's what we wanted to do. And I'm just like, stop saying this fucking PR garbage all the time. I know it's the thing, but like he is always saying like, oh yes, we did everything we always wanted. Yeah, sure, I believe you. That's what you did in Corsil 4. I'm sure.
I swear I read recently that they were looking to add more IPs to their existing list of IPs. That's gonna go down like a sack of shit. They can barely get games out on time now. It would give us a chance to catch up, but they would need to expand. And I just imagine like 3 dudes in a shed at this point with Falcom. I know they're not, but I imagine 3 dudes in a shed like, hey Kondo, should I put in a titty grabbing scene? Yeah, put that in.
Also, not just that, but did you know, and that's a worry of mine, speaking of that, Falcom seems to be way more focused and worried about who's gonna fuck who in the games than anything else. Because, I don't want to spoil you, I'm not going to, but in Kuro, this is kind of a big focus, like with like, who's gonna date Van, pretty much. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's like, okay, it's fine, I don't care, but like, the thing is, they treat it so seriously. It's like they do polls and they're like, oh shit, she's less popular now. We need to do something. Fuck, maybe she's gonna win. Oh no, maybe it's gonna be a lame.
That kind of game design, that kind of writing, like writing what you write based on what people like is never going to lead you down the good path.
Exactly, that's what worries me.
You need to have a vision and you need to stick to that vision.
That's what worries me.
You can divert slightly, but Japanese game design, I've noticed, tends to be very reactionary. People moaned about Final Fantasy 13 being very linear. What did they do? They made 13.2 remarkably open world. In reactionary game design, I've seen it quite a lot. But with this fucking thing on who's fucking who, Falcom's fucking us. That's what they need to be focused on.
Yes.
And I've been holding that in too long. I don't care who fucks Rean, or Van, or the fucking garbage man, whatever his goddamn name is. Apparently he has a bike, that's cool. I want to know about how long I'm going to be fucked by Falcom. Because that was Azure for me. I loved it, but I couldn't help but feel it was twofold. On the one hand, I thought, I feel as though this game is a looming shadow because I know that it shouldn't have been localized now. They should have just left them in the past.
It's 10 years too late.
10 years too late. But on the other hand, I thought, thank goodness it isn't 2009 and I didn't get this on a fan patch, because if I wouldn't have known that I had 14 years of crap waiting for me, and I can't believe there are people out there who have managed to hold on that long.
That's me.
It was at the forefront of my mind. Yeah, it was at the forefront of my mind because I'm new. I'm a baby in the Falcom and the trail scene. I'm like, I got into it in 2019, and I think maybe it is relevant after all because other people have been into it for like 3 times that long, maybe 4 times.
I mean, I have a good example. Can I?
Nearly 20 years.
I guess it's fine if I can name drop her, but she's like kind of a figure in the community. OMG Floofy. She's like, she's way older than we are even, and she's been into it, as I understand, since like the very first game in Japan, so 2004. She was cosplaying as like Trails in the Sky characters, like when nobody knew what it was. And she's been streaming all the games every time they come out since forever. And I used to follow her like back in 2013, 2014, streaming, and she still does today. Like she still streams Falcom games when they come out. But some people have been there like for so long, and I don't know what's her stance on it, but she seems to be fine with it, which is surprising to me. Like she doesn't seem to say too much, but she is involved in like the business side of it because I think she knows.
I swear I saw her name on the credits of Geofront.
Yes,
Azure.
Exactly. She is involved in like even Nisa stuff, Exit stuff back then. She's like very, I respect her a lot, and I enjoyed her content. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but it's where was I going with this? But yeah, some people have been there since the beginning, is what I'm saying basically. So.
Yeah, I would love if we could get one of these people who's been like a fan even longer than us. You've been a fan longer than me, but if we could get someone like that on, just to kind of pick their brain and say like, but then again, maybe they'd just be like, well, it's just one of those things. I just sort of play it, and other people, not
that's what I get a lot from most people. Someone told me the series died after Azure. That's what I get a lot. But they still care, they still play, but they're like, and I don't agree with that, but whatever.
I was gonna say it's not something we can measure objectively, is it? Really,
it's subjective. Yeah.
It's gonna die for every single person differently from a enjoyment perspective. I mean, we're on our last legs with our enjoyment, but the one thing I wanted to focus on was the financial side. But they are so, I think it must be like private company things, something like that. They don't actually have to, they never publish how well their games sell. I wonder if they're embarrassed sometimes. But, you know, they're old-looking games. And a good way to put this into perspective is this game we're waiting for that's, you know, Kuro 2, for instance, the latest one. We'll be lucky if we get that in like the next 3 to 4 years.
I'll be 40 when it comes out.
Yeah, and it's Kuro 2, I believe, only came out last year.
Yeah.
And yet, Kuro 2 looks like crap compared to a good game. I'm sure it's great, but in terms of how it looks and how it plays, it looks like a low-budget, early PS4 era game from 10 years ago.
What's weird to me, and maybe it's just my vision playing tricks on me because I don't see things like everyone does, obviously, but when I look at Kuro models, like the character models, to me, they look worse than the Trails of Cold Steel models. I don't know why. They have more details.
Something in the shading.
The eyes bother me so much.
I found the shading to be kind of
shading is like plastic. Like everyone looks like a piece of Play-Doh or something, like a plastic.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I think it was an artistic decision. I can live with it, but I do remember thinking it was a bit odd, and I remember thinking this game looks more dated than Cold Steel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
If it looks dated now, imagine how dated it's going to look in, 5 years or so. if we can even get it by then, in the 2, 3, or 4 years when we actually get it, it's probably going to look like a dinosaur. Games are just evolving more and more, and they're already up against it, Falcom, because they don't have these resources.
No.
But they had one big chance.
They don't play.
And it was when they got NIS America.
Yeah.
That was their chance. In 2019, they came out with Cold Steel 3. NIS did a fantastic job advertising. They were fantastic.
They did a lot of stuff for the series, actually. I know a lot of people have beef with NIS, but one thing they did right, in my opinion, is that they really put all the stops to make the series, like, make people aware and, like, promote the series.
Yeah, bring it into the cultural zeitgeist and really into focus for people who otherwise wouldn't know about it, because that was the only chance that Trails had. Yeah, that was the only chance Trails had, I think, and Falcom by extension. And I think the best chance for Falcom and Trails is the West still, especially with trends in Japan. They're not selling as many games because not as many people in Japan play consoles anymore, and honestly, maybe they're just sick of it by this point. They needed fresh people, and that's where you and I come in a way, and the people who make Trails content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if I could have actually helped them. Maybe I've helped them make one sale, but if they had gotten out to more people in the West, we've seen what the internet can do for a game. It can lead to sales. Look at Nier Automata. Before Nier Automata, Yoko Taro was making games for basically no one but that little niche.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna do a video about this. Epiphany. Nier Automata, that was revitalized because they had that one good game, but it was the perfect storm. It all came together, and it also became an internet phenomenon. I'm not saying that that'll absolutely happen with Trails. I think it was very rare and very lucky to happen to Nier. But, and I'm also not saying big Android titties and butts. I wouldn't say no. But at the same time, I wonder, that kind of thing is about the only thing that could actually help Trails at this point.
Here's my problem, though.
It's dying, bro. It's dying.
But here's my problem. Listen, I don't want to sound like a doomer, but when I think about, when people tell me, would you recommend me this series, Trails? And I'm thinking in my head, how can I recommend it? because in my
First, you've got to learn quantum mechanics.
But
and then,
but it's just like, is it worth it to like spend thousands of hours, like games after game after game, for what? What is the payoff? Because can you really recommend, like, oh man, I'm gonna sit down and spend like days and weeks and months of my life on this series for what? So how can I recommend this? That's my problem.
That's the thing. It seems like they're just driving in whatever direction. It's like Gaius, man. They're going wherever the wind takes them. But the wind's taking them all over the place because the jet stream is a very capricious fucker.
Yeah.
It's just taking them all around the place, writing-wise. If you're going to have a series this long, I think, honestly, what Trails needs is a definitive endpoint.
Yeah.
And they don't even really have one. It's like, oh, we might do this, might do that. I'm going to say this, I don't think Kondo has a fucking clue what he's doing at this point. I feel like he had a good vision in the beginning and things tied together. But at some point, you know, there were a few changes in, I think it might have been director or producer.
Writers,
yeah, writers, basically. It's really difficult to know who does what with these director-producer tags, but they all write to an extent.
Yeah.
But with Cold Steel, I can see now that things did sort of go off a cliff, but it wasn't so much the writing in general, but the direction of the writing. It was, where were they going?
We'll be back with you after this short commercial.
Annex the world with Ozzy's Imperial Donuts. In pink or black as despair.
And then at the end, it was Curse. The Curse.
Yes.
And now it's like, okay, so what now? Because that was the end of the saga. But at the same time, they've left a lot unanswered.
Yes.
And it has been 20 years nearly.
I know,
20
almost.
years next year.
Next year, yeah.
Since Sky the First.
And
Sky the First.
You know what's funny?
You
You talked about graphics earlier, and I find it funny because if you don't know, when Hajimari came out in Japan, Kondo was like, yeah, new engine. We have a new engine for the new game. It's gonna look amazing. You can zoom in on the weapon and see like the brand logo on it.
Shit, you could do 10 years ago in most AAA games.
And it's like, wow, now you can open a door with your hand, and it actually opens the door. Wow, it's amazing. And I'm thinking, they were like selling this game, Kuro, like it's gonna look amazing. And then I see the game, and I'm like, okay, I'm blind as fuck. I have zero standards. It's fine for me. But even me, like when I saw it, I was like, something's wrong. Something is wrong. Like I saw the animation was like okay, like you see Agnes at the start, like just like going to the office, and like it looks okay, like animation and stuff. And then I'm like, wait, something's off. Like no. Is this like the amazing thing I was promised? Because shit.
Yeah, buddy. And it's just, eat it up, consume, and get excited for the next product.
Imagine a blind man, even a blind man like me, can just see how bad this looks. I mean, it's yeah.
A blind man. I should actually write Kondo on Twitter. Does he have a Twitter? I'll just say, my blind mate said your graphics are shit. Get your crap together, man. I'm gonna look him up. Kondo Falcom Twitter. Does he have a Twitter account?
No, I think that wouldn't work so well.
He doesn't.
But Falcom does. Falcom does, but not Kondo, yeah.
They wouldn't understand what we were saying.
Yeah, but I love Falcom, I really do. But I think they just don't manage their budget well at all. To me, there is a serious problem with that because it's not an excuse today. In my opinion, it is not an excuse to be this bad at production and focus. Especially
when you had that chance with NIS and Cold Steel and then decided, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back 10 years, completely do this momentum, just never mind that. And in 2021, that's what I was going to say, in 2021, they announced that Reverie is coming out in 2023, and I was like, no! I cannot wait 2 years for this new game. We had insane. 2019, Cold Steel 3, 2020, Cold Steel 4. When's Reverie? 2023.
I know.
It's still 2 months away.
I lost my shit when this got announced because I was like, my god.
People were happy. Why were they happy?
I was angry. I lost my shit in the sense that I was angry. And I was seeing everyone happy, like you said. And I'm just like, fuck.
We get Crossbell, the game from 10 years ago, guys. Come on. Be happy.
And also, you're kind saying 10 years ago because again, it was 12 years ago at that point in 2021.
Yeah, I feel like I'm out of date now. I must be. I'm a Falcom fan. But I'm just taking after my favorite games.
But fuck,
well, actually, it's Nia's my favorite.
It's such a wasted potential, and that's why I'm so passionately bothered by all of this, because for me, Trails is like, I told you this, but it's like the only series, literally, that I can still play today with my own eyes on easy mode. I can't see all the time. Sometimes I'm lost in dungeons. It's too dark. I can't see shit. But you know, it's doable.
Yeah, me too.
It's doable.
I do that too. I wouldn't worry.
And it's like, why? Anyways, it's Falcom. But when people say like, I can't even get angry at people like shitting on Falcom today. Before, I was like defending Falcom. I was like, oh, you know, it's just like low budget, whatever. And now I'm just like, no, it's just, there's no excuse at this point. I'm just like, no.
It is an absolute mess. I think at this point, they need a definitive endpoint. They need to say, okay, this is where we're going. This is where it ends.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Zamuria. In terms of the lore of their game, the half of the world, they haven't even told us what it is. It's just a blacked out zone. Desertification. They're on about some sort of, at the end of Cold Steel 4, they're on about the Eternal Recurrence plan, the final plan. But is it really? Is it really
I know.
The final plan?
I feel
what plan
it's just
is going to
blue
come
balls.
next?
It's like blue balls all the way. Just everything. Yeah. And even like when they have a chance to flesh out things and build it, like let's say for Rean and everyone, and just say, here's what this character is going to do. Here's what he's going to become, or she, whatever.
Rean went on to become a gigolo in the 1950s after time traveling back. Yeah.
And instead of doing that, it's like. It's just like they're so...
they're meandering. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
they just have to keep going. I'll tell you what it's like. Lost. Did you ever watch Lost back in the day, the TV show?
I don't watch...
It was... Season 1 was the best TV I've ever seen. Right after a show called... next to a show called The Leftovers as well, which was done by the same dude, I think. Lost was... It gripped like the entire world. I was one of the people, I was like 12 when it came out. Season 1 and 2, I'd never seen anything like it.
I heard of it, but yeah.
But it turned out that they wanted to do about 4 seasons, but the TV company told them, no, you need to do more. And so even though they had a lot of things that they had in mind, a lot of things you could tell suddenly they were making it up as they went along. And I fear that that's where Trails is headed.
And you know what makes no sense about that?
What's that?
Kondo said... And I'm quoting him, but I need to find the source. If someone wants it, I can find it.
So it's like a paraphrasing.
But yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Kondo said that the dev team, like there's a lot of senpais, you know, elders that are gonna get, they're gonna retire, like soonish. And he was like, we want to finish the Trail series for good before all those employees retire.
Hey, they'll be dead by the time they finish the Trail series at this rate.
And then, what do? They released Kuro 2, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're like, oh yeah, we need to hurry. What do? You make a filler game.
I keep hearing this. When you say filler game, do you mean like legitimately just full-on filler, like no real purpose to it, just slice of life type shit that doesn't really go anywhere?
No, not like this. It's just like they create a new, like, you know those like in Shonen, we were talking about it earlier. The shonen arcs where like it's a filler arc, whatever. What do they call it? Sometimes they like go back, not go back, but like they just branch out on like a side story that does something and then go back to the main story.
Arc,
yeah, it's a filler arc, and that's basically what it is, a filler arc.
Oh man, they need to be. Oh god, the games are long enough as it is.
Yeah, I know it's a short game compared to the others, but I think I'm still not back to it, but
that's like the 11th. 12th game in the series.
I know, and it's like you say you need to finish quick enough so that people can retire.
They are gonna die.
And it's like
they are gonna die of old age, and we're not gonna finish out what happens.
This is why people are angry, because the game has a great tone at the start. At least I think it's very like dramatic and like powerful. The prologue was very fun. I'm not gonna say anything, but just like generic, like opinions. And I wasn't bored in the prologue or whatever. But it's just like, why would you do this? If you need to finish, just go to the point. Stop blue balling all the time. And
I'll tell you why. I know why. Because it's their biggest moneymaker.
I know it's a cash cow, but
they can't let it end. They can't let it end.
And you know who's giving the money now? It's not us. It's all the shippers and like waifu fags.
I think I'm part of that. I'm giving them money to.
I am a waifu fag. I buy Shizuna merch. I buy Elisa merch. I have Elisa body pillows. I have figures. I have wall scrolls. I have every single thing under the sun. CDs, JDK CDs. Limited editions galore. Like I'm
gonna make a.
Do you know how many copies of Cold Steel 1 I own? and 2 and everything. But just for Cold Steel 1 alone.
I only know of... Is there like 4?
Oh, way more than that. 10.
Really? 10?
Yes, I have Japanese Vita Limited Edition, Japanese PS3 Limited Edition,
Japanese and English.
Japanese, also the digital versions because they came with PS4 themes and avatars. I own like a gajillion copies. Like you could see, you should see my shrine or whatever. It's just a part of it. Like it's just a fraction. And I was so obsessed that I was willing to give all my money to Falcom at that point. But now it's like I just like make careful decisions.
Deep, yeah.
But
I'll tell you what though, if Falcom was a daughter, I feel like Falcom is our daughter and she's really disappointed us after turning like 19. She's about 19 now. I feel like she's just dating all the wrong people.
Yes.
Always coming home drunk.
Yes.
And you just want to look at her and go, I failed you.
Yeah.
I failed you. But when you think about it, we're sort of the children of Falcom, so it's the other way around.
You
so
know,
it's like,
you know what
why
a
are
friend
our parents
told me,
being like this?
What a friend told me, and he's right, I admit. It's like I am in an abusive relationship with Falcom. I am literally the battered wife. I'm like, no, but you know, I love him. He's good. Like he's gonna change.
I love him.
He's gonna change.
I can change him.
Yeah, I can change him.
Yeah.
And I always come back, and I always get my ass handed to me. And then it's like
Falcom's drunk when you get home.
Yeah.
Falcom's fucking throwing beer bottles all over. I'm sorry, Falcom.
And it's just. And I still love it, and I still, you know, I still give my money, and I'm still like, yeah, you know, it's fine, it's gonna be better. Like I'm sure there's
Falcom, you need to see a therapist about the drinking problem, Falcom.
And so people make fun of me.
Your life out.
My friends
Mum's
make fun.
Worried.
Yeah, my friends make fun of me, like because they say I'm in an abusive relationship, and they're right. I think they're actually very right.
I've actually just written down Falcom's drunk as a potential name of this podcast episode, by the way.
Maybe Falcom's drunk or like the future of Falcom. I don't know.
I've got ranted about the state of trails, the absolute state of trails, and Falcom's drunk, and old men shout about trails. Oh, this has been cathartic.
I know.
Jesus.
But you know, I don't even know where I'm going now. It's just.
We've just gone off the rails, but it was all brought out. The important thing here to remember is that it was all brought to light by the existence of Azure.
Yeah.
And that brought up all of this. It brought it up for me when I was playing it. When I first said I was 50-50, people were probably thinking, oh, we must be in the writing with how they're going about friendship and shit. It wasn't really that. It was the idea that it dawns on you. You're playing an old-ass game from an old-ass time, from an old-ass developer who 10 years later, 13 or 12, still hasn't changed.
Yeah. Still
hasn't figured out what they want to do. And if they do they do not have a plan. I'm just going to say, they obviously don't. I keep thinking maybe they do. If they did, they would not be doing this.
You know what they're doing now?
It's antithetical.
Because it's the cash cow, but you know, people like us, of course, are like kind of... They basically backstabbed the OGs to basically monetize... what do you call it? Waifuism. I don't know, waifuism. Like, you know,
they hopped on the train,
and I'm not against it. So just to be clear, because some people, like I've talked to people on Twitter or whatever that told me like, as if I was like against fan service, like some kind of prude or whatever. Dude, I'm the Ecchitaku. Do you know who you're talking to? Like, because
you're more lenient with it than me. I'm always moaning about it, but even I
am
I don't think we should get rid of it.
I am a degenerate. Like, and I am whatever. I am all for this stuff. I'm not against it, but the thing is, there is a place for everything. There is a place. I think the context is key, and the problem is this is not helping the series. When all you care about is not angering those like Twitter whatever users going on there like shipping fanfics, whatever, and buying their body pillows and whatever. Like, if that's all they care about now. They're so scared to like upset these people that the series is literally like halting, kind of. You know, like they're just like, it cannot advance because of it. In my opinion, it's holding it back. That's my opinion, anyways.
You kind of remind me of GTA 5 online in a way.
Yeah.
They haven't made but the thing is, they've just stuck on that. But in the same way, the Trail series does seem somewhat stuck.
Yeah.
after talking about this with you, I'm very worried. Suddenly, you've really helped me to realize a lot of the issues Trails has. I never really thought about it this way. I think I was trying to be nice, because I always try to be measured, you know. I say with Azure, you know, I'm 50-50. I had a good time with it. I had a good time with Cold Steel. Even with Trails in the Sky, I was like, yo, this it has its upsides, you know. An old game. I love the series that much. But I'm honestly terrified about Reverie and Kuro when I think about how passionate I am about these games, because after Azure, I realized it just clarified for me. It's over a decade old, and a lot of these things they're still doing, and a lot of the tropes they're still doing, a lot of the annoying things they're still doing, a lot of things that were posed as like mysteries that's still not solved. And that's the thing, they treat it like it's some big mystery. At the end of Cold Steel 4, they had a secret cutscene. Originally you had to reload it, but I think now it just plays automatically after a patch. Some people must have missed it. And the Grandmaster comes down in this big, bright blue ball of fucking fury or glory. A blue ball, again, goddammit, blue balls. The Grandmaster comes down, and after, what is it?
It's gonna be the name of the episode, Blue Balls.
Blue balls, Falcom blue arts. Well, Falcom's drunk on blue balls, aren't they? Because after all of that, it took them until then. Up until then, we didn't even know it. We just knew a voice. I think in Sky the Third. And then suddenly, at the end of Cold Steel 4, the 9th game in the series, at that point it's probably been a decade and a half, we see the Grandmaster's face. Even my chair, the cursor's at it again. It doesn't want me saying it. We see the Grandmaster's face. She says something cryptic. Something about some fucking plan or something. And then, fade to black.
I know.
Play Reverie and Kuro, find out what happens, and now you're telling me that in Kuro 2 there's a fucking filler game!
Yes.
And it's like, oh god, if I don't get summoned in Reverie and Kuro, mate, I am gonna punch a donkey. I'm gonna actually, maybe a dolphin, maybe
an elephant, you said.
And now, that's it, an elephant. I will punch an elephant. At the zoo. We have elephants.
Or punch a tiger like Kiryu in Yakuza.
Yeah. Maybe not that. But the elephant's going down. I just need to find its what's it called? That one you gotta, is it the liver? The liver shot. Give the elephant. I keep saying elephant. I'm thinking of like the 4 elemental dungeons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will play Cold Steel 1 through 4 at some point again before Reverie, just to catch up, because I want to hear what the Japanese voices are like. I'm in no hurry, so I won't burn out with it. I can just skip through shit I don't want to do. I can be through that in a day or so, each game. But yeah, I am worried. And at Trails to Azure, while it was a good game on its own right, reminded me of this in a way that I could not extricate myself from. My chair right now is crying out to it. It's going,
it's okay.
It's sad as well. Even my chair.
At this point,
every time I moaned.
I just play the games like with the mindset of it's just a generic JRPG kind of thing.
It sort of is now, and
just
it had so much potential.
I know, and it's very disappointing, and I try to be positive, and every time I'm like, maybe I'm just a doomer, and I shouldn't be like this, and I'm being too negative, and I should just look at the bright side. But then I'm, again, back to the abusive relationship thing. But it's just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to spoil you, and I won't. But don't expect too much. Honestly, don't.
I'm not expecting too much.
And
I'm expecting little snippets that will make me go.
The good thing, I will be honest. The good thing is, I think I can tell you this. The focus part of it is good in Reverie. You know, it focuses more, less bullshit is what I'm trying to say. Less bullshit, and if there is some bullshit, it's on the side. So it's not something you have to do. But it's just if you expect big leaps, I mean,
no expectations. I have no expectations. So, my expectations are on the ground.
But again,
with my feet.
I'm gonna be honest. It's again back to the pairing waifu stuff. It seems like even on Twitter, when I go on social media and YouTube, everyone, what does everybody talk about when it comes to the games? It's always, what I see at least, always my ship this, my ship that, who's gonna fuck who, Van's gonna end up with X, Rean's this, my choice with Rean, blah blah blah. It doesn't mean shit, and yet people, all they care about is that. And it doesn't mean
Bro,
anything.
At some point, I've wanted, every time you brought that up, to mention the Falcom subreddit. I feel I've gone in too hard on them. Or I felt, rather, that I went in too hard on the Falcom subreddit. I've been so tempted to make a part 2 of the video, like the Falcom subreddit part 2, Electric Waifu. Something like that, you know? And it is so weird.
I know.
It's so weird. I can't... Like, if you're into like the waifu shit, like you say you're an Ecchitaku,
Yeah.
I think I know roughly what that means.
Ecchi is like,
it's like
as the
you
genre,
do your thing.
the genre, you know, like fan service basically.
Yeah, and it's like, if people like that, I couldn't give a shit. If the games keep it to a modest, like sort of, not in terms of like what they show, but like a modest amount of shit that they put in,
As
so that
long
they
as
don't
it doesn't hurt the rest.
detract from.
Yeah.
As long as they don't hurt the overall narrative, I really don't mind. But in terms of other people, this war that people are having, it's like an endless war. It's like Metal Gear Solid 4 with the endless proxy wars and the Sons of the Patriot system. It won't stop fighting. It's just a perpetual fight.
Here's the thing,
I know it's
they don't
indicative of
even
a wider
know.
trend in anime, but
They don't even know they're
Mad.
fighting for nothing. It never will lead anywhere.
that's like Metal Gear Solid 2. It's like, Snake, what are we fighting for? Nothing.
But I don't want to spoil you for Reverie, but I think you know yourself, because Kondo and official statements have been said way before Reverie. Like Kondo said it, but people like to just ignore what they don't want to hear, so, you know. But Kondo said himself in the
I get that in my videos.
2019 interview. Again, I can pull the interview if someone wants to read it or whatever. It was translated in English. I forgot on which site, but you know, I'll find it eventually again. But Kondo explained like about the bonding events in Cold Steel, as well as like specifically the romantic bonding events, by the way, not the ones that flesh out characters or like teach you about events from the past. But he said these are so you have like the main story, right, with Rean. What Rean does and what happens is the main story, and then you have the romantic bonding events, which is like a depiction of like the lifestyle of like a young man, supposedly, as he says, because we all, you know, fuck a lot of bitches when we're young, right? And lol.
Not the Falcom fan base.
No, absolutely not. But like, I'm saying this sarcastically, obviously, but like we all have harems and shit, right? But it's just like he said, like it's supposed to portray this lifestyle as a what could have been. Like this is a what if. This is what could have happened, but it's separate from the main story. And he actually explained it. And that's the thing. I wish more people would actually read this and realize that this bullshit is just a side gig. It's just a fun thing on the side. Like stop bullshit. Stop.
Well, the fact that they give you a chance to do it, and there are so many chances. I mean, there's what you choose, and there's canon, and canon is authoritative. Canon is the author. The author decides what's canon. And in terms of canon, what they often do with this is they'll often make it so it went a certain way, and it will reflect in the next game, and you can put the pieces together on what happened.
Yeah.
Or with harem stuff in particular, I was thinking about Witcher there, but with harem stuff in particular, I mean, it's always a case of, well, he didn't get with any of them, or he got with the main one. Now, they obviously had Elisa in mind.
Yeah.
Just make him get with Elisa. She's obviously the one that they wanted to go with, and I'm not saying I think they're better together. I don't care who.
Yeah.
This is another weird thing. Here's your next episode. Harem fucking shit, and the weird fans and the Rean harem
reset.
shit. And the shippers basically, they argue about who Rean's better off with. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
I want to know who the Grandmaster is and what her plan is. I want to see some fucking blood spilled, bro.
Yes.
I want to see like
You'll
evil
get that in Kuro,
plans
at
come
least.
to fruition. I want to see like good writing. I want to see difficult emotional scenes. I don't care who Rean's better off with.
I know.
I when I pick a girl in a game, I'm just satirically messing around. I'm like, all right, half satire. I really do like Sharon and Aurelia.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I do. But I don't. But it's like I'm just messing around. That's as far as it goes for me. I don't care who Rean gets with. And if I said once, I think Rean should get with Elisa. Only because the writers were.
That's what they obviously wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell like everything the writers did.
They're being held back again by this bullshit, and it's so weird, like because it creates this weird like contradiction between like the storytelling and the rest of like the harem shit. basically.
It's a weird dissonant thing, and I think we found our next episode, to be honest, the shippers.
Oh yes, we need to talk about that. That's a different topic, but
yeah,
it's
I'll write it down. I'll write it down right now as silently as I can.
This is basically what is part of.
Is that loud? Can you
No,
hear it?
I can hear it, but it's fine, really.
Damn it! I'm just doing it so silently. Yeah, I've written it down.
As I said, like it's a part of what's holding the series back. It's not that I hate it. Like as I said, I like fan service too. But again, there is a place and a time for everything.
Yeah, they're giving it a greater degree of gravity than they otherwise should. But then again, it could be what gets people into the series, and it could just turn it into some generic harem game. But I feel at the same time, a lot of people would leave it as a result, and a lot of people have. I've talked to some people, and a lot of people in my comments actually, I've been speaking to for like 3 years now. My channel started as a Trails Let's Play channel.
Yeah.
Or rather just, well, that and FIFA, believe it or not. I took down the FIFA videos, but I was doing Trails, Cold Steel 1 and FIFA. And the amount of people I saw commenting back then that still comment now, in fact, like 3 years later, they still watch me. It's wonderful to see.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
But at the same time, quite a lot of them have talked about how they're so done with it.
I know.
And they've talked about, yeah, I'm not really excited for this one, or I didn't get this one. There's no chance of me getting Nayuta.
Oh, same.
There is no chance.
Same.
Even if it's just like, I know like a Trails fan should theoretically want to get things that are related to Trails, even if it's only tangentially related and not canonical. But at this point, I feel like they're taking the piss. And I'm analogous to the people who watch me, and to the other people I've spoken to, yourself as well. We can only take so many beatings.
Can I be honest?
Drunk Falcom husband.
Can I be honest about this? I did not even buy Trails to Azure. Not that I don't plan to, but I don't know when I will. This is not.
I don't blame
This
you.
is not even a priority to me anymore. Before, I used to be so excited, pre-order everything, buy everything I could. Like when Falcom would announce a new game as well, I would pre-order every single fucking version I could. Like get all the goods, as I said, like Cold Steel 1, oh my god, I went absolute apeshit. I have like every single version I can think of. And I was that passionate, and now I'm just like, is it even worth it anymore? Like, I have better things to do, I have more, I have other things to buy, bills to pay, I've got like, it's just, I'm just, that's where I am now. So, it's a bit, I don't want to end this podcast on a downer, so, but...
Well, to be honest with you, I was thinking that too, that we have sort of really hit upon, I think we've come to the collective realization that Falcom has changed, and that they're probably never going to change for the good.
No.
In fact, I think it's more that they haven't changed, but we've just realized that, and we want them to change, but they probably never will.
The only thing that makes
that realization is hitting me like a rock right now. I will play Reverie, and if it isn't good, or if it continues this trend of annoying me in the way that it has, I will make one last video on Trails, and I might just drop the series entirely. That's where I'm at. Yeah. So we need to start diversifying with other games just in case.
Yeah, we should, Also, I think I am very, very passionate about East as well, so if you want to talk about East sometime, because for me East is like my first love with Falcom, as I told you in the first episode, and when I saw you playing East 8, that gave me a smile, because I absolutely love East 8. I think I told you this, but it's my favorite East game of all time, because of the story and the adventure side of it. And
it's wonderful,
because I love every East game actually, but so to me there is no such thing as a bad East game. However, East 8 to me really, really played with my heartstrings in a way that no other East game, I just lost my voice for a second, no other East game did. I think Donna...
I'm losing mine too.
Donna did, like, to me she's the best... say like female protagonist Falcom ever had, because she's not just a heroine, she's a protagonist in this game, and I think the story was really fun. I had so much fun playing it. Anyways, so if you want to talk about East sometime, whatever, we can talk about other stuff. And also
we could. I'll write it down actually, because East is a good example.
East didn't suffer from anything. You know why? because East is not the cash cow, so Falcom can still do what they always did with East, I guess. But
pretty much. It's funny because it was probably the most popular at one point.
It used to be Falcom's flagship series, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of got taken over.
Adol got replaced by Rean at this point, which sucks. I think Adol is Chadol and Rean just doesn't... Adol is still above Rean to me, way above Rean.
Yeah, I think to finish that one off, I got one sentiment to add about East and Trails and how they sort of intersect. And I think that what happened for me is when I played East, I played 8 and 9, and then I played 8 again. And in that, I've realised what Falcom can do when they put nets up. They put up some nets. They're not allowed to make this many games on it. Each game has to be its own self-contained thing with a definitive beginning, middle, and end point, and it needs to have substance, and it's nowhere near as long, and it is condensed, and there are nets up, making sure that it doesn't get too sidetracked at any given point.
Yes.
It has a distinct, clear focus, and it is everything I wish Trails could be. But because of the long nature of Trails, that's exactly why it isn't. And I think East just represents everything I want from Trails, and just am not going to get. If Trails was like 2 games per arc, they would be forced to really condense it down like an East game.
They willingly make it last forever and just make it drag it forever. With Trails, but East is more focused and condensed, I feel.
Yep, and that's why I mentioned Lost, because Lost eventually, by season 6, though it was a really good it had emotional impact in the ending. But at the same time, it reeked of, okay, we made this up as we went along past a certain point, and we're also kind of copping out.
Yeah.
It was kind of a cop-out. And I feel as though Trails is just heading down that road, but Lost went for 6 seasons and 6 years. Trails has been going for the better part of 19 now.
Yeah.
Trails is our drunk, alcoholic, beating husband, and also our disappointment of a daughter.
I'm gonna call it now. For the 20th anniversary, how do you think Falcom's gonna celebrate the Trails 20th anniversary?
They're going to announce the Reverie arc coming out in 2025 in Japan.
I think they're gonna announce more body pillows.
Probably body pillows, a t-shirt, probably a concert where they spoil everything for the Western fans. And the Grandmaster will show her eyes. Assuming she does it in Reverie. Can't wait to see if the Grandma... Maybe she'll show her eyes and I'll get to see what she looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll say so. Oh, we'll get on to the next plan. The Eternal Recurrence plan. You know what? The fact that they called it the Eternal Recurrence plan at the end of Cold Steel 4, that makes me piss myself laughing sometimes now.
Yeah.
It really does, because that is a Friedrich Nietzsche thing. His idea of, I'll be living in an endless loop. Are our lives just repeating over and over and over again? And I wonder, is Falcom's Trail series basically the eternal fucking recurrence at this point? Do they know what they're doing? Are they taking the piss out of themselves? The answer's no. They have no self-awareness. Jesus Christ. They're the eternal recurrence that Nietzsche warned us about. God is dead.
To end the podcast, I want to say something, and I am curious to see what the reaction is going to be from the Western side when they play Reverie on a certain particular thing. And about you as well, it's not nothing serious. It's related to something I hate and how it turned out, how things turned out. And because I called it when I played Cold Steel 4 and Reverie got announced, I called it. And I was right, because there is no way it would have been any different. And we couldn't have continued this way anyways, this is what I'm trying to say. But the reason why I'm curious, because keep in mind, I was mentioning all like how seriously people take some, like the shippers and whatever, like all this bullshit is taken way too seriously. I wonder like what's gonna happen, like if someone's gonna flip their shit. Because I've seen people on Twitter like actually rage quit the series when they saw what they saw. Because, some people, all they care about is shipping characters with whatever. And I wonder, like, what the reaction's gonna be. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna have a good laugh at this. And I know some.
Hopefully, I do too.
Some people like. I know it's not gonna bother you one bit. In fact, it's a good thing. But it's just that I just think it's funny when I saw the reaction. Some people were in denial, and some were just pissed off, like beyond pissed off. So it's like the typical reactions. Someone sees something they don't want to see, they ignore it and pretend it never happened. And someone sees it and loses their mind over it. Typically, you know how it goes. And I'm curious. I want to see what people are gonna say about that. And I called it, and I think it's a good thing. But again, there's still a ways to go. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna say. To not spoil.
So Rean fucked Million, then that's what you're
exactly,
saying.
Exactly. You get it, man. You get it.
Ah, bastard.
But no, actually, use his fuck million, but no. He got in court, in fact, because of that. Have you seen the last episode of Falcom After Hours?
The last one. Oh, which one was that? I think I did. Was
Guilty
that
as
before or
charged.
after my internet break?
Guilty as charged. The one we recorded before you left last time.
Oh, was that the one in the courtroom?
Yes.
I saw that one, yeah.
I look at the end. What happens? You know, uses.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, so I'm joking, saying, you know, like he got he got in court over that, because no, but Milliam is actually never a choice anyway, so you know. But it would be Altina if it was a lolly, unfortunately, and we all know, because Japanese people have an obsession over Altina for some reason, an absolute like insane obsession, but whatever. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what this crowd, which is like a massive portion of the fan base sadly nowadays, thinks about this. What can you call it? I don't know.
Shit show?
It's not a shit show. I think it's a good thing. Just a bit. I wouldn't say happy, but I'm. Or overjoyed or whatever, but it's just like, again, I called it, and when about, you know, the importance people give to the bonding event system, that's regarding that. But yeah, so get fucked is what I'm gonna say in advance. And on that note, on that bombshell, like Jeremy Clarkson would say, I think it's time to end this episode, maybe.
This podcast is perfect therapy.
Yes.
But I think it'll also be good as we branch out to like East, and another idea I had was actually Persona.
Oh, we can.
Persona
I
series.
did
That's a really
play.
good one.
To me, I didn't play a lot, unfortunately, but I like this series. But again, visual issues, I had to stop and watch Let's Plays instead. So, for what it's worth, this is how I enjoy the Persona series nowadays. Sadly, but I enjoy it. So we can do that. And Falcom has plenty of series too, the old ones. But you know, Gudamine. Sorcerian, whatever, like what do they have? Pop Full Mail, as I said last time. There's a lot of franchises Falcom could revive, but they don't.
I don't know how much traction they would get
they
at this
need new
point.
stuff,
If they've even screwed the pooch with Trails at this point, I don't know, man. Is there going to be a Falcom in like 5-10 years? I'm at that point, bro. I'm starting to be a doomer. But then again, maybe,
I'm having a bad influence on you now.
I think it's a natural. I wouldn't feel bad. It's a natural part of the process of being a Trails fan. You come to that realization.
You know
it's a part of being
know what
in your
we
30s.
should do? A video. I think it's a thing on the internet. The video that says the cycle, like the X cycle, like the being the cycle of a Trails fan, the life cycle of a Trails fan. Is what I mean. Have you seen those videos, like life cycle of a fan or something? Maybe that's a video idea.
I feel like we're at the end of our cycle, to be honest with you, or close to it. It could be that, you know, I think a big part for me is the fact that I make content on it. You make content on it too, but I think once I start branching out, I'll feel a bit better. But the passion, it's obviously still there because we just ranted about it for over an hour. So it's obviously still there. I have to get out of the video now. You've just inspired me to make like the
if we didn't care, we wouldn't be here talking. You know?
Yeah, it's like that's what drunk Falcom husband says. You know, if I wouldn't beat you if I didn't care. It's because I care. It's like, no, Falcom, you don't care enough. But I do care. I can change you, Falcom. I can change you. We just got to get you to the doctors. And it's like, oh god. So you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You've inspired me to not become a doomer. I'm just gonna make that rant on Falcom and Trail Series. I've made rants and I've held back. I'm just gonna go all fucking in. You know why I held back? Because idiots in comments say stupid things and I argue with them.
It's pointless.
But I don't care anymore. I'm letting it out, and this podcast has inspired me to do so. So thank you for that.
Because you shouldn't
free.
Restrain yourself. You should be free to express your opinion. The thing is, like, to me, this was about like basically saying it's okay. Like, it's not about shitting on something for the sake of shitting on it. Like, I was accused of that in the past. Like, oh, you're just shitting on it to shit on it. No.
Yeah. Those people.
Yeah.
They're stupid, and I'll tell you why. There is a positive. I said this in my rant video, one of the many rant videos. There is a positivity in being negative, in letting that negativity out. If you're not letting the negativity out, then it's just going to well up inside of you, and it's going to grow and grow. It needs some sort of outlet. It needs to be channeled and let out somehow. And one of the best ways to do that is with a rant. And for me, I'll turn it into a creative project. We have both right now turned it into a podcast. That's probably going to be entertaining for people who feel the same way and they feel like vindicated about it. And it's also going to be entertaining for the people who would disagree with us, because they're going to get excited at the thought of telling us what idiots we are. Even though we're being, channeling our negativity, we're letting it out.
Yeah.
And, those are the kind of idiots who say just be grateful. I've had people say, let's just be grateful we're getting this. And I'm like, brother, it's capitalism. I buy product, they give me product. There's no morality involved in this transaction.
Exactly.
It's a weird thing. It's Stockholm Syndrome. It is.
Nothing wrong with criticism. When you love something truly, you want that something or that person, let's say, to it's like seeing someone you love just like going to shit, like life's falling apart, whatever, and you're just watching them
the disappointment daughter again.
Like the disappointing daughter, and just you want your daughter to improve, to get back up, and
we need to give her a name,
become a good person, and it's just like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. In fact, like you said, Stockholm Syndrome won't do any good, because Falcom will never have any chance of changing if everybody just says yes and expect to get fucked. And like, yes, let me bend over and continue. Like, no problem. It's just, no. Like, at some point, you just have to say no. You just have to speak up. Because as you said, it piles up. And then, you need an outlet. So yeah, I hope people can resonate with this podcast and see that we're not being, we're not shitting on anything for shitting on it. This is for like no reason. We're just like being honest with ourselves, and it's important in life. Be honest with yourself, because life is short, and you never know what can happen tomorrow. This is just a video game series, so we shouldn't also like. I'm talking about it like it's a super serious matter, but no.
Life is short, but Trails isn't.
Yeah, Trails isn't. That's for fucking sure.
And neither
is your life.
Neither is my temper, because I've been. Did you hear my fridge? It went. It keeps making noises. I bet you can hear, like, if you hear the occasional. That's my fridge in the background.
It reminds me of my dishwasher. That sounds like there's a cow stuck inside it, like doing moo. When it works, like it does like moo.
Oh, you've got to record that for me. I'll record my microwave for you. It sounds like a squirrel being ran over. It's a good one. Oh, if Falcom really is the disappointment of a daughter, I've got the perfect name for Falcom. The disappointing daughter. I thought of a name.
Oh.
Elise. What do you reckon?
That's perfect.
It's good, isn't it? I think it's
disappointing daughter that's a degenerate.
Yeah, or maybe even Yuna Crawford.
Yuna is the embodiment of, I think, a lot of wrong with Falcom today. This is why I hate Yuna. People don't understand, like, Yuna did nothing wrong. No, that's not the problem.
I think it's that Yuna did nothing interesting.
She did nothing interesting.
She shouted at Rean in Cold Steel 3. That was a good scene. And after that, she just became boring again.
The real problem is that Yuna is a literal anomaly in space and time. She doesn't make any fucking sense. Then she pops up like, oh, what's up, Yuna? Oh yeah, how I've been doing? And it's just like, where did you come from, bitch? I never seen you before. And then it's just like everyone knows her, like she's always been there, and it's just like fuck. And then she's always like, oh, giving lectures and like butting in all the business she has nothing to do with. Anyways, it's a different rant. We did rant about Yuna enough in all the episodes, I think, and I shit enough on Yuna on a daily basis. So.
I forgot to put her in my ranking video. I think I'd give her a shit tier.
Shit! Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'll put her in the next one. I think I'll give her a shit tier, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I forgot to put her in there.
Anyways, I think on that note, I think everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one for a different topic. Who knows what? You'll find out in the next episode of Dragon. I'm sorry, in the next episode.
The topic is how much we love Yuna. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
We love her.
Next episode is just a spoiler. Yeah, it's gonna be how much we love Yuna. Oh yeah.
She's so great. Yeah.
Anyways, take care, everybody.
Try not to die. I wish Yuna would die. That was mean. I didn't mean that. I whacked a thing.